So in this segment, I want to discuss Israel claiming sanctions against them would be anti-Semitism and how stupid an argument that is.
We didn't move on sanctions because of immense pressure. All sanctions.
So it's the next Tory minister here discussing the situation of not sanctioning Israel during their attacks on Gaza.
Sanctions were an expression of anti-Semitism, and that was what was the case being put by the State of Israel. We now know this to be wrong. I think we should have taken action against settlements much earlier. I think the fact that
they had a long time to do anything with settlements. David Cameron, kind of criticised the settlements a lot. So did Barack Obama, to be fair. Both of them did nothing about the settlements.
Have been allowed to grow with no consequence has done a lot of damage. I think it's fueled a sense of impunity among certain politicians in Israel, who, because if you have significant condemnation but no action, well, what's anyone going to do when you take the next step?
And what should that action have been? We've now got sanctions. Is that sufficient?
I think we should have moved on sanctions much earlier.
Right.
We didn't move on sanctions because of immense pressure on any sanctions policy as being motivated by the wrong determination. All sanctions were an expression of anti-Semitism, and that was what was the case being put by the State of Israel. We now know this to be wrong. You can't have the criticism we've seen of Israel over the past year, particularly from those in Tel Aviv protesting about the Prime Minister, to be told that all criticism of Israel is anti-Semitic. Plainly it's not, and I think we've now moved past that.
I don't think we have really moved past that. I don't think, if we look at Labour now, they haven't really dropped any sanctions on many Israeli politicians over what's happened. The ICC finally have done, but that's about it. I think the British government should put sanctions. I think all governments that claim that they're democratic should do, because we've seen war crimes. We've seen war crimes against people.
I think we should have been clearer that international law matters. The settlement process was advancing quite genuinely under our noses, and there should have been action. And you can start with sanctions on individuals, but you can spread it to a wider trade sanction and all that.
Yeah, you can spread it to companies involved in the settlements as well. But you didn't, and that's the thing. It's always ironic that as soon as they leave office, or as soon as they're out of actual power, politicians kind of are like, "Oh yeah, kind of goofed on this one, didn't we? Really should have really dropped the ball on it." And you're like, "Yes, we told you did." There's more here as well.
At this point, where we are in the minority of the UN, it doesn't look like any form of global leadership at all. It looks like rank cowardice that we are not doing it when everyone else has, and especially when you started off by saying
it's about the recognition of a Palestinian state.
There are very few levers that the UK has to pull. We are a P5. Actually, the probably the last remaining ability to provide any comparable support to the process at this point is for the UK to recognise Palestine.
The recognition, as I say, it's symbolic, but it doesn't do anything else. But in company with others at a crucial time, maybe because the timing of comments to Israel is very important. Israel is influenced. It wants to know that if it's hearing criticism, it's from those who are acting in good company. So it can't simply say, "Oh, well, they would say that, wouldn't they?" Israel has a very long list.
They're always going to say that. They're always going to say, "Oh, you would say that," or they'll always claim you're anti-Semitic if you go against them. That's their defense mechanism. But you have to get past it. You have to get past it, and you have to say to yourself, "Look, if any other country did this, would it be illegal?" Forget the only Jewish state in the world and all that other nonsense, right? You have to ask yourself the key question, which is, have they committed war crimes? And the answer is yes. Should they be punished? Yes. That's it.
List of countries it just doesn't listen to because it believes they're all against them for anti-Semitic reasons and others. But if the United Kingdom, a friend, was to say something in company with other friends, it's going to listen very carefully.
They ain't going to care for them. What they understand is sanctions. What they understand is aggression. That's it. I'm not saying go fight them. I'm telling you that the bare minimum we should have done is put sanctions on Israel, suspended all trade to Israel, and treat them like apartheid South Africa. That's what we should be doing.
So that is leverage.
Friends don't let other friends commit war crimes. But it just show you the cowardice of the UK and also the Tories that all Israel said to them is, "Oh, sanctions are anti-Semitic." They're like, "Oh, cool, sorry, bro. I didn't mean to be like that. We ain't no racists around here." madness. They're literally seeing war crimes, seeing constantly, breaches of international law with the settlements and things like that, the breaking of the Abraham Accords, and it's just like, oh yeah, do we care? No. And now suddenly it's oh yeah, we should have done something about it. It's too late, pal. You're out. You're an MP, yes. Are you a cabinet member? No. Are you in government? No. Is your party in charge? No. What can you do apart from talk about regrets and stuff like that? You just sound like it's how Obama sounded about, when he talks about certain issues, like, single payer healthcare. It's like, bro, you had a shot and you fumbled it. That's it. You're done. Like, no one cares about the regrets of a politician when you should have done better in your role. And, the situations that, at least, I guess some credit to MP Alistair Burt when he says, like, the government should have done more. It's like, cool, but unless you were trying to put pressure on at the time, I really don't care, because all you're trying to do is clear your moral conscience over this. By saying, oh, guys, this was the situation, oh, we really should have done more. It's like, you're trying to clear your own guilty conscience of what's happened. You should have done more, yes. And the question is, like, what are you going to do about it now? Is there any motion you're going to back in the House to get something done? Or are you just going to be like, oh, guys, it's my regrets, here's a memoir or whatever? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know anything in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.